What's up, man?
Hey,
How are you?
doing good.
We'll just give some folks a second to jump on here. Thank you for
Yeah,
hanging out today. Both of us are
Cindy,
speakers.
I just sent you an article. Cindy sent me on your
Uh,
phone. So the Crest, our insurance.
yeah, I have that same insurance.
Oh, good. So they're the ones sent that article to her today.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying that we are essential service. We consider part of financial services,
Right.
and they're just saying that not showing properties at all. Uh, it's not like face-to-face showing. It's,
Right.
as she just said that that's what the attorney said that we can do that, but we just have to be cautious and take all the necessary steps to be cautious. Like show vacant properties and
Yeah. So,
use gloves, mask.
so your lawyer is telling you that it's okay to show property then?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. This business has to survive.
Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, but what happened that if it continues for more than April 30th?
Right.
Yeah.
Um, so just some context because some of the folks here, I see some people that are on that are like not from the high desert, so they might not know who you are or what you do or some of your background. So talk a little bit about the size of your company and how many deals you guys do, how many deals you do personally, and just so folks that are watching have some understanding as to you know kind of who you are and what you're all about.
Um, we're what is medium size mom and pop company in high desert.
I don't know if you're, by the way, I
Non-franchise.
don't know if you're a mom and pop anymore, given your volume, but uh,
Well, I like to be humble.
right, right.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Um, in average, last year I think we did 285 transactions.
Yeah, so I mean, 300 deals a year. I mean, you're closing pretty much a deal a day in the high desert, and I think you personally are doing, what, between 75 and 150 deals yourself.
My team, out of 285, my team itself did 135 transactions.
Okay, right. I mean,
So,
so that's a
so my team is me being the listing agents, and then I have three buyers agents.
okay. Uh,
So, but as you know, I get most of the listing in my company.
right.
So I mean, it's a confusing time right now, but I don't know. I sent out a memo when first time the CR came out. When is that? A couple of Fridays ago. Remember
Uh,
that? So I sent out a memo to tell my agents no face-to-face showing, no open houses, and then my agents are seeing that agents are from LA, Orange County area, still coming and showing properties, especially on our vacant properties. So agents are calling me like I see other people are showing properties. I even called the director of our board
mhm.
asking for suggestions. And so she was saying there is no written ethics that has been implemented that it is not ethical or illegal or something like that.
Right.
So there's an agent posted on the Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. That she's a single mom. She has to provide for the family, so she's carrying goodies for the shoes and
Right.
gloves and mask and
Yeah. Yeah.
carrying it with her and alcohol sprays and showing vacant properties. Um, so again, we have to. I think, and this is my opinion based on what I'm seeing. Other day I showed a property to a friend of mine who's an investor.
When was this?
Day before yesterday.
So you showed a property as recently as day before yesterday.
Yeah, so he saw this property, online, and he's been looking for a property like that. He's an investor. He flips property, and then he also buy and whole property, rent property. And
Right.
currently, he has, I believe, including the property he lives, 15 residential properties. And by the way, I sold him all of them over the
Wow.
years. Yeah. So anyway, so he saw this property. His wife saw it, and they've been trying to move from a track home area to more like a, Hesperia, Apple Valley, where there's lots of bigger, more custom built home.
Yeah.
So he said, "Hey, can I see this property? I really want to see it." And I know them. I've known them for 15 years now, and I know what kind of people they are. And I told them that this is a situation. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll have mask on. I'll have gloves on, and my wife do the same. And we'll maintain 6 feet or more distance with you. So I went in, looked for the property, and luckily it was listed by one of my best friend's wife. Michael Knight owns the Century 20 Desert Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife, Angie Knight. So she had the listing, and it's down the street from my house. So I called her. I told her, is the owner showing properties? What is the situation right now? And she said, oh, yeah, they're showing properties. I told her, what is the procedure? She said, oh, well, usually what I'm doing, the owner will leave the house for half an hour or 20 minutes, and you show the property and leave your business card on the counter, and we'll do it this way. So I just went out there, met with the client, and they even left the door open for me. And we went, and it's a large property, 5,575 square foot, with a pool. And so we walked around, make sure we didn't touch anything as best as possible, and showed it. And he didn't like it because the property needed a lot of work.
But I guess the seller literally just left the house, and you guys showed it, and then the seller came back. I mean, the feedback I'm getting from a lot of sellers and people that have a bunch of listings is that the reason that sellers aren't, a lot of the properties are on hold is because they don't want the buyer coming in, coughing on something or touching something and leaving, coronavirus on there, and then the seller comes back, and then, there's they get sick. I think a lot of people are. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if that's how it gets transmitted, but I'm hearing that a lot of people don't want people in their house because when they come back, they don't want to be in a position where they're ill.
Yeah, I met an appraisal yesterday, and again, I heard about that, but he gave me a little more specific information on it. So it was a vacant property. He came over. He didn't have the access to the super lock box. So I went out there, opened the door for him, and he had an opinion about it. He had his gloves on, he had his mask on. He even had his booty on his pocket. He hasn't put it on yet. He wasn't inside the house yet, but he was going to put on the booties when he goes in the house.
Right.
And he was telling me that metal, that's where the virus stays for longest. The doorknobs, anything metals like handles, and things like that. So he was telling me anything that metals, he always touches with the gloves. He has gloves on and all that. So everybody's just taking the maximum precaution possible, to do that. And we got to remember, yes, you see people out there that are not giving a damn about this whole situation. You know. So again, we are professional. We have responsible for ourselves, and we're responsible for our clients. And definitely, we want to make sure that we are not the cause of someone getting sick or we're getting sick because of it. Exactly. And so he even said that some of the lenders are allowing them, and also it's work in progress. But there's few lenders are already accepting drive-by appraisal. Okay. And so what he's doing, he's going out there, just taking pictures from outside as best as he can if it's an occupied house. And so he said, and some of the lender underwriting department is accepting it, but not all of it, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae guidelines. So they're trying to implement that if this continues longer than April 30th. Just we have to do it maybe this year or so. How are we going to survive through this and find a way to run our business? So so everybody's worried. Everybody's trying to do their job the best they can, being cautious, not getting sick and not getting other people sick. And the vacant property, like I had a agent. She used to work for me. She doesn't work for me no more. I got a text from her last Saturday, and she said, "Hey, Mohammad, I want to show this property. I understand it's vacant." And actually, not last Saturday, the Saturday before, right when, you remember the order came in? On the Friday, a couple of weeks ago. And so I said, "Are you supposed to be showing property?" It strictly says no open house, no showings. Right. And she's like, Oh, I know, but I'm actually the way I made the arrangement, I opened the door for them. I stayed in my car, and I told the client, go in,
Wow.
make sure you have gloves on, don't touch anything. And that again, that was a vacant home.
Yeah.
And so she said, after the client looked at the property, and then she went in, made sure all the doors are closed, and made sure all the lights are turned off. And then she came out, locked the door, and that's how she's been showing properties. And by the way, that same agent wrote an offer, on the property. So
Right.
I received offers during that time, like right when that order came in, right
Right.
a few days after that. Um, Again, I don't know, like my board of directors says, there is no written guidelines, or is it not ethical, and
Yeah.
um, but then again, we got that new order other day saying that no open houses and virtual showing as much possible, right?
Yeah, that which is why I think the essential service thing doesn't really mean anything. Like, okay, real estate's an essential service, but okay, no open houses. You can't really show property in the same way. You're
Hmm.
not door knocking, right? Like it's okay, we're an essential service, but that doesn't really, as a matter of practice, it doesn't really change anything in terms of the shelter in place order.
Right,
So who cares?
right. Right. So, yeah, like today, I talked to my office manager. So I told her, like, hey, I understand a lot of my agents are Confucians. Again, you want me to tell my size of my company. So I'm probably what my company, I probably have close to 60 agents.
Right.
Um, so,
Which
so
is not small. I mean, 60 agents is a decent sized shop, for one location in Hesperia.
yeah, and I think non-franchise company, I'm probably on a number one or two bigger non-franchise office here. Um, So, we after she's talked to the attorney of Crass or
Mhm.
Union Insurance. She said that we should, I told her, like, let's do a maybe Skype or whatever. I'm not as technical as you are because I rely on people to do this kind of stuff.
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
I'm very lazy.
No, it's fine. It's, I mean,
On that type of area. Okay,
right,
so she's arranging it. So because most of my agents are wondering what I'm going to do,
correct.
so this Thursday we arranged that. So we're going to talk about it. That yes, you have to be careful. Yeah, you have to be responsible. You have to be responsible for others. Be extra careful. But if you're like again, my own girlfriend is a realtor, and
Right.
she's not here, but she has germophobia.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
yeah, I mean, she's a very clean person.
More
She
so
was,
now.
yeah, I mean, she has been in medical field for many years,
Right.
and right now she's a realtor. But she always been that way. That's
Right.
kind of because I like her because she's so clean that way.
Mhm.
And she's telling me I'm so scared even going out there and showing property. Even doesn't matter how
Of
cautious
course.
I am, and what happened, I get it. And
Yeah.
so, like, if you're that anxious and that your anxiety level is that high, maybe it's not a good idea to go out and show property.
Right.
And so it's just individual choices that we have to make as a non-independent. Yeah, like we're all independent contractors.
Mhm.
And as a broker, I'm in a position I don't know what exact to say. I told them, okay, if I can tell you, I said, don't do it.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not up to me what you do every day of your life.
Well,
As
then
a
my bills are due, right? So, okay, I can't
exactly,
show property, but I still got, a house payment to make and a car payment and, all
exactly,
these, I got to pay my credit card bills and all the stuff that people say, right? So that's the catch 22. I saw Elon Musk tweeted like this whole coronavirus thing is dumb. It's like, yeah, it's okay if you're a billionaire, if you have freaking, if you're worth $7.5 billion, you can say that. But what do you say to the guy that has to go to work or the guy that got laid off, right? I don't really have the luxury of having an opinion as to what I feel about coronavirus. I need to make money. So what do you say to those agents that are just, that work for you? That say, Mohammad, I'm scared of getting sick, or Kitty, your girlfriend, I'm scared of getting sick, but shit, I got to make money.
yeah, no, exactly. So my suggestion was to my agents is that be responsible. It's totally up to you to take that chance and be cautious, be extra careful, and still do the job. And again, I hope I'm not held reliable for it. And as you know, I own an enterprise. I have broker-owned escrow. I have broker-owned mortgage company. I have broker-owned home insurance. I have 18 employees.
Right.
So I'm adjusting
Plus 60 agents.
plus 60 agents,
Yeah, so
right?
that's 75, 80 people that rely on your guidance and leadership to say, hey, what do I do? What do I do?
Exactly. So, so I myself today, as you know, I have investment part of my company as well. I went to one of my investment properties in escrow, and I had to get some code to make sure, I am still doing the things so that I am not falling behind. I mean, I am like, things are happening, but I don't want to be in a position that I have been pushed back 2-3 months
Right.
because of what's happening.
Yeah.
So everything that absolutely necessary, I am going out there and getting it done, taking care of it. I took my dog out with me. They've been bored.
Yeah. Right.
So like I told you, I met an appraiser yesterday, and like I have never done this before. I mean, quite a while. Like I have installed Superlog box and drop off some flyers in all of my listing. And by the way, I got this listing during this whole thing. The listing came on the market yesterday. And by the way, I had first showing today.
Right.
Yeah, it had a showing already today.
Yeah.
So my log box and my flyers needed to be installed on the property, and I had to go out there because my assistants are at home.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
but I mean, so the other question is that deal going to even close? That's the other question, right? You got the listing, you're getting showings, but then you still have, hey, how do I do the home inspection? How do I do the appraisal? Is the buyer going to lose their job during this process? Like, there's all these like what ifs, which is why I think that this is going to be a more dramatic downturn than, or theoretically, and this is not bad for the real estate agent. I mean, I think somebody left a comment like, is it a good time to get into real estate? We're just in the middle of these deals. It's not my building or my house that I'm selling. I'm just in the middle of it, getting a commission. But separately, yeah, the industry is going to change over the next 2 to 5 months, and the people are still going to have to buy and sell. It's just,
right. Like for that comment, or whoever made that comment, it is anytime a great time to get in real estate. The thing is, on or the way I look at it, that you cannot be stopped by any circumstances or your environment around you. You have to adapt. You have to, adapt to your environment, but still do your job, perform your job, make the money. So like I told you, I am doing anything I need to be doing so that I am not pushed back 2-3 months because I have to go through this. Again, my business will suffer because think about it. Like my mortgage company depends on my agents bringing pre-approvals,
right.
And my escrow company depends my agent opening escrow.
Right.
So now that 90% of my agents are confused and 10% of my agent not giving a damn, going out there showing property, being cautious, putting gloves on, mask on, whatever they're doing. So the production will of course our production will suffer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my part of the business, my team that I operate, myself as a listing agent, my 3 others buyer's agent, I'm trying to maintain the business in a way that yes, it's going to suffer a little bit, but don't hold yourself back. Whatever needs to be done, just get it done. Be super careful. Like I had 100% alcohol spray, and my buddy Kamal gave it to me the other day. Yeah. And I have gloves. I have gloves on in each of my car now. So I'm just being extra careful. And as you know, I have lower immune system. I have 1 kidney. Yeah. So I have to be extra careful too. But at the same time, again, I could be like one of those person that just be a hermit crab, don't get out at all.
Right.
And then that's gonna hurt. That's gonna bring more economical hardship to me than being proactive and trying to be creative and trying to get myself going, get my business going as best as I can.
Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people criticize President Trump for saying this, but he was saying, he said something like the cure can't be worse than the problem, or something like the economic issue could be worse than the virus itself. And it's a tough situation, because what do you tell business people like you and I that have a staff working for us and that we have to figure out how to navigate this. But
I
the
mean, my
downside of
overhead is
illness,
close to 75,000 a month, so I'm cutting down, for the time being. But at the same time, regardless, I haven't laid off any employee. I
right,
kept all of them. I
right,
adjusted their hours. I just adjusted the day. I've been shifting employee one, you come on this day, you work 4 hours here, other work, they work 4 hours here. So I'm keeping everybody,
right,
and supporting them as best as they can.
yeah,
But again, I'm not going to let these, devastate me, lose it all,
right,
right?
right,
Yeah, we have gone through harder times than this. It just, I believe that we have to adapt to it. We adapt to our
right.
environment,
For
and it's a new environment for us. We are very, very unfamiliar with it. Everybody is, and
exactly, right,
yeah, and at the same time, like, you cannot just stop yourself and just, like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. You gotta adapt, and sooner we know how to adapt and survive together. Imagine this. I know, God forbid, I'll be the last person saying this, and I hope it never happens. Just say coronavirus stays with us for a year.
right,
What are you gonna do,
right,
right? What the world gonna do?
yeah.
We have to adapt.
I mean, that's a good thing, but that's the thing with this is that all of us are kind of going through this together. It's not just the real estate industry; it's the restaurants, barbershops, dry cleaners. Every one of us is kind of in an interconnected web, and we're trying to figure out how to navigate this as a group. So, as a society,
Yeah.
really.
It is. It is. I just think that, do the, like, they said the essential services should be open. Do the essentials. We have life. We have essential things to do. We need to do our essential as well. I mean, I told my agent, don't take a chance now. This is not a time. The buyer called. You don't even know they're qualified or not, and you're going out there and taking a chance.
No
You
way.
you only go out there when you know you have 100% a deal is going to happen.
Right.
And you only, because this is not the time you take a chance.
Right.
You're not only taking a chance on a buyer, you're taking a chance on your health. You
Correct.
know, uh,
Exactly.
so I told all my agents, like, don't you go out there and show properties as taking a chance, because
No.
as you know that I'm a big Zillow subscriber, and
Mhm.
Zillow tells you not to screen your people, right away, meeting them in the property. And I
Yeah.
told them, no, it has to change right now. You need
Yeah.
to screen them right now. Maybe not when you don't have coronavirus. You take a chance, but not right now. You gotta screen people. You're making sure that the time and the risk that you're taking to go out there with your health and other people's health, that it is going to be worth it for you and your family.
Right. The flip side to this also, like the other thing is that if a buyer's calling you right now or a seller's calling you right now, there's a very high likelihood that they're really freaking serious, because no one's going to call a real estate agent now unless they really need to do something.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that is. But, a lot of the time our buyers and sellers are not richly educated. Like, I got a call other day, and not me. My girlfriend got a call other day, a Zillow lead again.
Mhm.
The people want to see a property, and they're not even qualified yet. And I know the property. I have seen the property before all these things happen. The
Right.
only reason the property hasn't sold because the listing agent making a mistake. This
Mhm.
property has to be sold cash only. But she prepped it in
Why?
a way, because the repairs,
All the
all the
conditions.
repairs, it's not going to qualify for FHA, PA, or even conventional financing.
Yeah, right, right.
So the listing agent wasn't I don't know, I wasn't very honest about the whole situation. I took some very nice pictures, but picture doesn't do the justice. But she didn't say that it's cash transaction only. So this is not the time to do this. Us as an agent, you have to be really strict, solid, honest, straightforward. You
Yeah,
don't
right.
waste time.
Right.
I'm talking. My daughter and my girlfriend is trying to interrupt me.
No worries, no worries. Well, anyway, man, I don't want to keep. It's already 6. I got to prepare for a class in like 20 minutes anyway on live stream. But
Right. But again,
I-
like you're saying that, Kartik, the buyers and sellers need to be responsible now. You don't go out there and waste people's time.
right.
If you're, we need to educate people right now that if you are somewhat in the market, do your due diligence, know where you're at. So as we need to be responsible, we need to be, the buyer and seller at the same time needs to do the same thing.
Yeah, right, for sure. Now, Mohammed, just a quick thought here. If you look at 2010, or let's call it 2008 through 2012, like those 4 years of the recession, your business, you made some really, really good buys. I remember you told me you bought one house for like $20,000 and you were renting it for like 800 a month or something crazy, right?
I bought it for 14,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and then you,
But again, again, that was a time like this. Of course, it was a virus issue, but
Right.
our rug was taken away from our. I was just sharing that with my contractor. Was working on my pool, and I was telling him, in 2007, only third year in my business, I gross closed as a 422,000 as a single agent.
Yeah.
Without an assistant. And then year after that, in 2008, I made that 2007, 2008, I only made 190,000.
So your income went from 422,000 to 190,000.
90,000, right? So that's
sorry, to 190,000 or to 90,000?
190,000.
Okay, so 422 down to 190. Jesus. Okay, that's still a pretty dramatic hit.
It is. And again, it's like time like this, what do you do?
Right. Right.
You just don't fall and stay there.
Yeah.
You may take a moment like what just happened.
Yeah.
Then get up, and look around and see what you can do and tackle this. So
Yeah.
So again, I came out good. Again, I put myself back together. And in 2009, I made 290,000. I made 100 grand more than
Right.
year before because I didn't let my shock. I wasn't significant about what just happened. I worked 4 times harder.
Yeah.
I strategized my way of business that I was doing because in 2008, as a single agent, I had 136 listings,
Wow.
and none of my listings was selling. None
Right.
of them.
I remember.
Because the market was saturated with the REO properties,
Correct.
and they're half of the price or 1/3 of the price of my listings.
Yeah.
So I had all these wasted time job was occupying myself that I couldn't do nothing with.
But imagine this, right? Imagine in 2009 and 10, if you would have bought like 8 or 10 houses back then, and then, paid them off in a 10-year note, and then now you'd never have to work again.
That's true. And I bought 7 properties myself throughout those years.
Right.
And then the guy I just mentioned you owns 6 to 15 property.
Yeah.
He bought 11 property during the year of 2009 and
Dude, you're
2000.
done.
So now he lives in High Desert. He makes $15,000 just on rental income every month.
Yeah, which is freaking twice what he makes as a supervisor at Costco.
Exactly. And not only that, he bought this property cash, 42,000, 38,000, 60,000, 70,000. And all those properties are 320,000 or 350,000, 275,000. So he probably has 2 million in equity right now.
Correct, exactly. Plus all that positive cash flow is coming in every month.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's why I think I'm not. I mean, I would never wish a recession on our society, but if you're able to position yourself properly and play your cards right, this downturn, while it's very painful, I was telling someone this earlier. I'm not scared for the recession, but I just wish it wasn't in the context of like a health crisis, because that's a really, really, really tragic thing for us as a community. But financially, a recession could be a very, very good thing for those who can play their cards right, that can bob and weave. I mean, you really could just be done after a few years of making a few good plays.
Yeah, to me, I don't want any bad things for anybody. Overall,
Correct, exactly.
A good time is good for everybody.
100%.
A bad time, few people get lucky. Few people or they play their card right, or just coincidentally they got lucky.
Right.
Yeah. So again, time like this, you just have to be extra careful. I mean, keep your spending in a very low. And I all I can say, you have to be most frugal right now. Keep your savings, don't deplete it. And like you said, there's a lot of government assistance that the government is doing. Take advantage of that. Don't deplete your cash savings that you have. Okay. Just hold on to your money to the teeth. As to the last. And that's only one way you will get out of this.
Yeah, it's funny, too, the younger generation. Like you and I are about the same age, but if you go back to kids that are say 18 to 27, this whole like Instagram culture for the last 3 years that's been like, hey, buy a Lamborghini, buy a Ferrari, buy this blah 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 blah. And it's like, I think you and I are 15, 20 years in business, so it's a different situation than someone who just got their license 3 years ago, had a few good years, and is like, man, I'm gonna get a pick it. I'm gonna get a big Mercedes or a big house. That's like, a lot of people haven't paid the price that it takes to enjoy some of those nice things, like someone who's maybe a little more mature in their career. So I think that younger generation is going to have a pretty rude awakening over the next 6 to 18 months.
And it happened in 2008, 2009. Remember that?
When we were that age.
Oh, yeah, we were that age.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same thing. Man.
Yeah, I had lenders, had Vipers, had Mercedes SL, and had a home on the ceiling, had an $8,000 portrait,
Right.
and lost the home, lost the Vipers, lost the Mercedes SL.
Right.
It's just, it's just a flash in our culture. You just have to be careful. To me, people don't understand it. People think that I have what I got. They don't get it. I mean, I've been making, over six figures since 2006.
Right.
So how many years is that? Like 14 years?
Right.
And so it's a seasoned money making. It's not that I just made 2 years, blow it all.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, so we just have to be patient with our money. Well, time will come. The more patient you are, the more powerful you will be. And just this is not the time to take a risk. I mean, in that sense, go and get your dream, whatever you want to do, the splash and all that. This is a time you be super cautious, super frugal, and we are kind of walking on the edge. We don't know if we are going to go to the left on the land or we're going to fall to the right.
Right.
So we just have to be super careful.
Especially because the thing that's causing this is so out of everyone's control. It's not something you could have predicted. It's not all these things, right, that make this a different type of theoretical recession than we had through subprime and savings and loan.
That's true. But, I came to this country in 2003, if you remember, and I was totally uncultured of this financial or how the real estate up and down work in the United States. Right. So it was a shock for me. Like it's a shock for me right now, for a lot of other people. It was a shock for me. In fact, I was a little, upset at my broker that how come she wasn't warning me? How come she wasn't making me prepared to have me do more BPOs, have me apply to more asset management companies to get more, more bank REO properties, And she just didn't want to stop my momentum because she was optimistic. And again, then I told myself that I grabbed the very last end of the boat.
Right.
If I was prepared enough, I could have been I could have been sitting on the captain chair. You know what I mean?
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. So right now we have to do whatever we can do to be in that captain chair, or at least not just end up the boat or miss the boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll close with this, Mohammad, and then I'll let you go. Julie,
right.
who's a newer agent, she says, what are some tips that a newer agent can do right now to make sure they survive, basically?
Again, it's a very generic question, but it's if you have saving, hold on to your saving. If you don't have saving, it is a trouble. But again, be extra cautious. Go out there and make sure you're not getting sick. Make sure you're not getting anybody else sick. Right. Whatever you can do, take some action. Be in the business, show properties. And if you're doing listing appointments, I would say that I would like to do this, and this is what I'm thinking. And in fact, I send out 25,000 mailers a month.
Correct.
And so
by the way, for people that didn't catch that, your mailing budget, you send out 25,000 pieces of mail a month.
Right.
And how long have you been doing that?
I think I increased to 25,000 2 years ago.
Right. And so that's a very, very, and you're spending what, 10K a month on Zillow, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why you do 100+ deals a year, and why how many listings do you have right now?
I believe active 69.
Yeah, so you have 69 listings. I mean, just for some of the newer agents that might be on this or might be watching this on replay, I mean, you're a legend in your area, man. I mean, everybody knows who you are. I mean, every time I go out with you, at least one person comes up and says, "Hey, Mohammad, what's up?" You know, in that area. So you're a legendary agent in your part of the world. So what are some
Thank
tips,
you.
yeah, that you would give to maybe some newer agents?
Um, Work hard, work hard. And I believe that this is the time to learn the business. This is the time because you are not going out there all the time, meeting people all the time, only going out there when you absolutely have to, after you're 100% confident that, yes, this buyer is going to buy the house, they're
Right.
pre-approved. Yes, this seller going to list the property with a realistic market value. Go out there. But because you have so much time to yourself, educate yourself. As you know, I'm learning to this day.
Yeah.
So if you haven't read a purchase contract in the last 3 months, read it again.
Yeah.
Or systemize your business. Like
Right.
how many times you think about, oh, I'm going to implement this, I'm going to create this filing system, I'm going to do this for my assistant. Do all that organization's system that you want to put in place. This is the time to do it.
Yeah.
In a way, I don't want to say this, but I can enjoy this break time because my broker license need to be renewed in June 2020, right? So I just took this time. They lost you?
I'm sorry, I was getting a call here.
Okay.
Um,
So,
yeah.
again, take the action, go out there only when you have to, only that you are, you have a buyer that is going to buy, or at least they're qualified and they're on the market to buy, not wasting your time.
Right.
Ask proper questions and list those property only with those seller who is going to be realistic with their value. And the time that you have, organize your business, come up with system in place that you've been thinking about putting the system in your place for months now, and you couldn't get to it because you've been so busy working, showing properties.
Working in the business, not on it, as the common
Exactly.
Cool. Well, Mohammad, thank you so much.
What would be your suggestion?
What's that? Tell me.
What would be your suggestion for the new agent?
Well, I think this is true for every agent. I think that the market is going to switch from being like I talked to some other real estate agents. Most of my friends and people I talk to are people in real estate, and people say that the market's not going to drop because there's a supply constraint where you have more people that want to buy than that want to sell. So people are like in Rancho Cucamonga, for example, there is probably right now there's like 200 and maybe like 170 properties active in Rancho. But before coronavirus, it was like 220. A healthy balance, like 4 to 6 months supply in this city would be like 400 homes for sale. So a lot of people have this notion that, hey, the market's going to rebound really quick because we have an inventory shortage, right? You don't have that many houses for sale. But I don't think that's going to be the case in 60, 90, 120 days. I think there's going to be a lot of inventory that floods the market. So I would say right now, survival is critical. But beyond that, as you chart out 6 months, I would try to get as many listings as possible and try to position myself so I'm in a place where I control the inventory. Because when listings, and no matter what the market's doing, the listings are always the name of the game. So I would have a 4 to 6 month strategy of how am I going to market myself, how I'm going to farm, how I'm going to make these calls, how I'm going to get as many properties in my inventory as possible, so that when the market tilts, I'll control the inventory in my marketplace. So I would focus heavily on trying to acquire more listings, and that's always the secret, right, to success. That's why you can sell 100 to 200 properties a year, is because you don't have buyers in your car a lot. You control the inventory. And I think that, in the next 90 to 120 days, there will be a gluttony of properties that come on the market, and I would position myself to have as many of those listings as possible. So I'm the person that people think of. Like, I'll give you an example. In downtown LA, I talked to a friend of mine last night, and she was saying that she'd actually moved out of downtown LA to the suburbs while this coronavirus thing was happening. I actually think downtown LA, or like a lot of these heavy urban areas, are going to have a lot more inventory come on the market because people are thinking, hey, I want to be a little more spread out, or maybe for a lot of people, their condo in downtown was a second or third home. Picking up those listings is going to be very, very, very important. And I think that's low-hanging fruit that agents could pick as the market starts to tilt to be a more buyer's market with more inventory.
No, that's it. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And to me, my message to our community would be that be confident. This is the time to be confident, be positive, because we have so many negative news all around us. We have so many not very confident buyers and sellers right now, right?
Right.
We have to carry that confidence for them, because environment around us is very negative right now.
100%.
And yeah, so we have more confident we are, and I think we're gonna hold our value the longest. And I don't see any reason value going down, like you said. The reason being interest rate is still so low. Do you know refinance is going top the roof right now?
Yeah, rates are so low, right?
Yeah. I talked to a very, very high producing lender last night. Actually, he called me. He's saying, how's everything going? Yeah. And he does like about 30 refinance a month. So that's very high producing. Yeah. And he was telling me that his phone is ringing off the hook from the client that he did loan 3-4 years ago. Yeah. Because everybody's thinking that, after this recession is over, market change, or this coronavirus is over, market is going to change, and interest is going to jump up to 4.5%, 5.5%. So, in our area, I haven't seen price dropping. I don't know you see down there or not.
Yeah, but I think they will adjust. But I don't want to have a negative prognostication, because as an investor, I know you probably feel the same way. As an investor, you hope prices come down so you could buy more.
Right.
I would imagine. I'm sure that's on your radar at some level.
Again, you have to look at that way. When you price come down, you buy more. But as an investor, if you're flipping property, if you sell it, but property values are less, so you're going to be hit with both sides.
Yeah, you're right.
But I have to share this with you, and I'm not going to mention the name. One of our reputable title rep. Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with him the other day, Sunday. I called him and he picked up my phone, and he was bored of watching TV or something. And he was telling me, this is the time to tell your buyer, let's hit the seller with, $20,000, $10,000 price reduction, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I asked him, why are you going to do that? Is the buyer complaining? And he's like, no, but this is the time. And I told him, no, if the buyer is not complaining, buyer don't want to back out of the deal, why are you going to try to sabotage the value of the property?
Right.
What is your opinion on that?
No, yeah, I think, if I have a guy that wants to sell and a guy that wants to buy, the less I meddle in that arrangement, the better. So
correct. Think about it. If 100 or 90 of our agents doing it, guess 3 months from now, when you sell a property, our comps going to have 15-10% less value.
Yeah.
I
don't. My job is to not meddle in the deal. It's to make sure the buyer and seller come together. Why am I going to?
Exactly. I'm just saying, if the buyer is afraid, going to get out of the deal, and you can at that point convince the buyer, okay, hey, so just say market goes down 10-15% because of this. Let me see if I can talk with the listing agent, get that deal for you now that you're afraid the market is going to go down. Right. At that point, because buyer has a concern, you can bring it up. But voluntarily don't offer that to a buyer. Then we are trying to sabotage our market value. You know what I mean? Right.
And your commission in the process.
And I warned him. I told him, don't you just go around and tell AB agents that. I was upset about it.
Yeah. The less we can meddle, the better everyone will be.
Exactly. Oh. It was fun to be. It's the first time I did this.
Yeah. No, man. I miss you, Mohammad. I miss seeing you every week. And, I think a lot of people in our industry appreciate you getting on. Again, you're a legend in your area. You sell hundreds of properties a year. It's for those of you who aren't from that particular part of Southern California, Mohammad is he's a very well-respected agent. So I appreciate you hopping on with me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, bro.
All right. Okay, bye.
Later.